Imagine being told right before a big moment that your child, who has been practicing for months, who has been dreaming about this for so long, won't be allowed to take part. I didn't see it coming, and neither did my daughter, but that's exactly what happened at my sister's wedding. But before we continue, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell for updates. It was supposed to be a joyful event. My younger sister Lisa was getting married, and the whole family was excited to celebrate. The big day had arrived. Emma, my 12-year-old daughter, had been preparing for this moment for what felt like forever. For the past few months, she'd been rehearsing for a special performance, her own dance, because Lisa had asked her to perform for the wedding. This wasn't just a simple dance for Emma. It was her moment, a way to feel included, to be a part of something special for her aunt's big day. From the very first practice, Emma gave it her all. We worked together, ironing out every detail. She put in the hours, day after day, learning each step, perfecting every move. When she finally nailed the routine, I couldn't help but beam with pride. It wasn't just a dance, it was her confidence shining through. I was so proud of her, but also proud of the fact that she felt connected to her family, that she was excited to perform for Lisa, who was her role model. But then came the wedding day, and everything changed. We arrived at the venue, excitement buzzing in the air. The decorations were beautiful, the music was perfect, the whole day felt magical, until it wasn't. Lisa pulled me aside, and her words still echo in my mind. "She's not invited to perform." I froze. My stomach dropped. Emma had been rehearsing for so long, and she had no idea this was coming. How could Lisa do this? How could she crush my daughter's dream just like that? I looked at Emma. Her face was a mixture of confusion and hurt. She didn't understand. Lisa laughed it off, like it was some sort of joke. But it wasn't. It was real. I had to make a decision. I couldn't let my daughter suffer this humiliation. What I did next, though? Well, that shocked everyone. I couldn't understand it. It was one thing to feel frustrated with a wedding stress, but what Lisa was doing to Emma was something else entirely. And in front of everyone, no less. I stood there, dumbfounded. My sister, the person who I thought would be supportive, the one who knew how much this performance meant to Emma, was now dismissing it like it was nothing. I was trying to keep my composure, but my mind was racing. How could she do this? The words, "she's not invited," echoed in my head, and I could see Emma standing behind me, her eyes wide, waiting for an explanation that never came. At first, I thought maybe there had been a mistake. I even asked, "Lisa, are you serious? She's been practicing for months." But my sister's response was cold, almost indifferent. "It's just not going to work out. I don't want her to ruin the mood." Her tone was casual, like she was talking about a minor detail, not a little girl's broken heart. I tried to stay calm, but my fists were clenched at my sides. I couldn't believe this was happening. I looked back at Emma, who was now standing there, her face a mix of confusion and hurt. She had been excited about this moment for so long. The dance, the practice, the effort she put into it. None of it seemed to matter now. I was furious, but more than that, I was heartbroken for Emma. She didn't deserve this. How could Lisa, of all people, treat her this way? I could see how much it meant to Emma. She had been counting down the days, and now it felt like everything she had worked for had been ripped away from her, just like that. But what was worse? Lisa didn't seem to care at all. She laughed it off, brushing it aside like it was no big deal. "It wouldn't be the same with her," she added, as if Emma was just some prop in the background. And that's when I knew. I couldn't let this go. I wasn't going to let my sister get away with this. My daughter deserved better, and I was going to make sure she got it. But what could I do? The wedding was in full swing, and I knew that whatever I decided to do next would shake things up. What happened next would shock everyone, including Lisa. I knew I had to do something. The more I thought about it, the angrier I became. This wasn't just about Emma's performance. It was about respect, family, and standing up for what's right. I pulled Lisa aside once again, this time away from the eyes of the guests. I couldn't keep quiet about this. Emma deserved better, and I wasn't going to let my sister get away with making her feel like this. I looked Lisa straight in the eye. Why? Why are you doing this? You know how much this means to Emma. She's been practicing for months. How can you just dismiss her like this? Lisa's response was shocking in its coldness. It's not personal, Helen. I just don't want the performance to disrupt the flow of the wedding. It's supposed to be about me today, not her. She said it as if she was explaining something completely rational, as if Emma was just a minor detail she could easily dismiss for her own convenience. I was in disbelief. You're not even giving her a chance, I said, my voice shaking with frustration. She's been looking forward to this. She's been practicing and rehearsing, and now you're just going to take it all away? Lisa shrugged, seemingly indifferent. I'm sorry you feel that way, but it's my wedding, and I want it to go a certain way. Her words hit me like a punch in the gut. The selfishness, the lack of empathy, it was overwhelming. I glanced over at Emma again, who had wandered off to the side. She was staring down at the floor, unable to comprehend why the one person she looked up to was doing this to her. I could feel her hurt, her confusion, and it made my blood boil. I couldn't let this stand. Not for my daughter, not for me, and certainly not for the family I thought I knew. I knew I couldn't just back down. This wasn't about a dance. It was about family, love, and respect. Lisa needed to understand that. So, I did something I never thought I would do. I took Emma by the hand and made a decision that shocked everyone. I wasn't going to let Lisa control this. We were leaving. But as we stood at the door, I couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't over. The look on Lisa's face, the shock in her eyes, it told me that the fallout was just beginning. What happened next would change everything. As we walked out of the venue, I could feel the weight of the decision I had made. Lisa had no idea what was coming, but the look on her face told me that things weren't going to stay quiet for long. Leaving the wedding wasn't as easy as I'd hoped. As soon as I reached the door with Emma, I could feel all eyes on me. Family members, friends, even the wedding planner stopped what they were doing and stared. It felt like time had frozen. My heart was pounding, but I couldn't back down now. I turned around to face the crowd, my voice shaking but determined. This isn't just about the wedding. It's about doing the right thing. Lisa needs to know that you can't just treat people like this, especially not family. I didn't care if it was the middle of the wedding. I wasn't going to let my daughter feel like she didn't matter. Lisa's voice cut through the silence. She had followed us to the door, her face red with anger. You can't be serious. You're leaving? Over this? You're embarrassing me in front of everyone. I looked at her, my own emotions swirling inside me. I had never felt this betrayed. No, Lisa, you're embarrassing yourself. You're hurting Emma, and you don't even see it. I could see my family members whispering among themselves. Some looked uncomfortable, while others were nodding in agreement. But Lisa wasn't backing down. Her pride, her desire to control everything, it was blinding her. I pulled Emma close to me, feeling her shaking. She hadn't said much since the moment Lisa told her she couldn't perform, but I could see the hurt in her eyes. She wasn't just disappointed. She was heartbroken. This wasn't the family I had thought we had. I could hear Lisa's voice getting louder, but it didn't matter. I knew what I had to do. As much as I loved her, I couldn't just stand by and let her hurt Emma like this. I wasn't going to be silent anymore. Just as I was about to step out, a voice behind me interrupted. "Helen, wait." It was my mom. She had been silent up until that point, but now she was ready to speak. And from the look on her face, I knew this conversation wasn't over. What she said next would change everything. I turned around to face my mom, my heart still racing. She stood there, looking both shocked and disappointed, her arms crossed. But I knew my mom, and I knew that if anyone could get through to Lisa, it was her. "Helen, I get it," my mom began softly, "but you have to understand that Lisa's been under a lot of pressure with this wedding. She didn't mean to hurt Emma. She just—" My mom trailed off, trying to find the right words. I didn't want to hear excuses. "It doesn't matter, Mom. She hurt Emma, and she needs to take responsibility for it." Mom's eyes softened, and she stepped closer. I know, but you have to understand, family isn't just about big moments. It's about the small ones, the messy ones too. We have to face the consequences together. It hit me then. I'd been so focused on making things right for Emma that I hadn't thought about how to make it right for everyone. Yes, Lisa had hurt us, but we needed to rebuild, not just tear things down. At that moment, Emma squeezed my hand. She had been quiet, but her eyes were filled with understanding. She wasn't just upset anymore. She was starting to process it all. She looked at me, then at Lisa, and said softly, "I understand, Aunt Lisa. It's okay." My heart melted. My little girl was teaching me something important, that forgiveness wasn't just about getting an apology. Sometimes it was about understanding why people act the way they do, even when it's wrong. Lisa stood there, staring at Emma. Her face was red, but her eyes were full of regret. She opened her mouth to say something, but the words didn't come out. The fallout from the wedding didn't stop with me walking out. The family was divided. Some supported me, others sided with Lisa, but the tension was undeniable. Lisa didn't speak to me for weeks, and when she did, it wasn't the apology I had hoped for. It was a cold, "I didn't mean it. I just didn't think." But the damage was done. My relationship with Lisa had changed. The trust was shattered, and no one knew if or when it would ever heal. Emma, though, handled it like a champ. It wasn't easy for her, but with time, she learned that the people she loved might not always act the way she expected, and I think she grew stronger because of it. In the months that followed, things didn't go back to how they were. But Emma and I found our new normal. We found peace in knowing that standing up for what was right was more important than any event or family gathering. It was a lesson we both learned the hard way. As for Lisa, I'm not sure if we'll ever be the same. But what I do know is this. Emma and we've got each other. And that's what truly matters. I'll always stand up for my daughter, and I'll never let anyone take away what she deserves. Not ever again.